Okay, so I have no idea what the hell is happening to this game industry that we all love so much. That now we're getting social justice warrior BS in our video games. I don't know if you guys have been hearing the rumors and all the controversy, I guess you could call it, in what's going on in Mortal Kombat 11. So, as far as I'm concerned, I like seeing female characters in scandalous looking, clothing. It's what we've all grown to love so much since MK1, since the first Mortal Kombat game. And if the developers or the creators of Mortal Kombat 1 would have caved into demands by retards that really don't know what the hell they're talking about, we wouldn't have had any more Mortal Kombat games after the first one. And by that, I'm pretty sure that all of you remember what happened during that time. That, oh, Mortal Kombat, it's super bloody and it's graphic with its fatalities, and oh, look at the way that this person gets his head torn off, and how the other one's burnt alive, and blah blah blah, and this and this and this, and there's too much gore and blood, and we should have the people behind the Mortal Kombat game like clean it up a bit. And they actually managed to do that when it came out on the Super Nintendo, that it didn't have any blood. On the Sega, it did actually have the blood and stuff, and the fatalities and everything. The fatalities looked a little bit more graphic on the Sega than it did on the Nintendo. But here's the thing: if the developers of the first Mortal Kombat game would have actually caved into these demands, trust me, it wouldn't have survived. People would have been like, what the hell is this joke? They played it one way in the arcade and then a different way in home consoles. Like, people were actually disappointed when they actually got to play it in home consoles. I don't know about you, but definitely it was kind of a disappointment to me. I thought to myself, wow, this is awesome. I get to have the home version of the arcade game that has been so popular and has gotten so many people into, And personally, I was disappointed. But it later started getting better and better. Mortal Kombat 2 came out, as well as all the other following titles after that, and they gave you the option to either leave the gore or take it out of the game. So, to the topic that I'm getting at is that it seems to me that the developers at NetherRealm Studios, we've lost them. Everybody, we've lost developers. We've lost them to the same BS and PC SJW bullshit that that we've gotten to see all over a whole bunch of different types of games. And this is going back to the whole Battlefield 2 shit, where it was historically inaccurate and it wanted to add females into the game. I have no problem with females being added into shooters, first-person shooters and stuff. I mean, you get to see it in Call of Duty, World War II. But I guess you could say that it was more historically accurate in the way that they portrayed the women within the game. If you play the campaign on Call of Duty World War II, they portrayed the women in the game for what they were in real life. They were spies, they were operatives, they did fight, they did kill, but according to how they were portrayed, they were used as spies and things like that, not in actual combat. But that becomes an option within the the multiplayer afterwards. So I don't have a problem with that. But it was a little bit more historically accurate, not like Battlefield 2, that just because SJWs demanded that women have to be in the game because it's sexist if you don't, male patriarchy and misogyny and blah 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 blah. So now we got this problem in Mortal Kombat 11. Now all the female characters are like 96% covered up, and it's very disappointing because the first time I saw the game announced, that it said you fully customizable outfits, the more you play the more stuff you unlock for your characters. I was hyped as hell to get that game. I was like, badass, I get to make Scorpion look like the Scorpion from the Mortal Kombat movie or Mortal Kombat 1 or stuff like that, or I could just make him look super hardcore and whatever. But as soon as I started hearing the rumors about how NPC SJW started getting to the developers of NetherRealm, I gotta be honest with you, I was disappointed. And when I started seeing videos from other YouTubers on what these female characters looked like, I was like, what the fuck? What the hell is this? What the hell am I looking at? Not Melina, not Kitana, not any of the other female characters are wearing anything so much as even remotely revealing. The only characters that you actually get to see showing off a buttload of skin are the male characters. That seems to be a little more than sexist, okay? That's super biased. Super biased BS by the people at NetherRealm. So, what I want to know is, what can we possibly do to teach these assholes a lesson? To teach all of these developers that you don't fuck with our games by adding your SJW and PC politics. What can we possibly do to teach these motherfuckers a lesson that it's the clientele and it's the demographic of why your game sold in the first place whom you should be listening to and not the mainstream? Well, number one, the only thing I can tell everybody, and I'm not demanding it from anybody. I'm not saying you have to or else you're a fucking loser. But what I am saying is that the best way to teach these assholes and the best way to show all of these developers that you don't fuck with their games and you don't fuck with the clientele is just don't get the fucking game. They've said it themselves. You have that developer from the Battlefield game that said if you don't like it, don't buy it. And you saw how well that went over for them. Just an example. It's not the exact same thing, but I mean, just look at Anthem. Those people really didn't give a shit about what the customers wanted. They didn't care about the product itself. They didn't care about the reviews, and they didn't care about our opinions. And look where that game is going. It's going to shit. Okay, a lot of people are starting to hate Anthem, and not just because it locks up their PlayStations or their Xboxes, but because it's a piece of shit game. It's got no end game. It's got nothing. So, the best thing that we can all do, if you're any kind of real self-respected gamer, or at least if you think you are a gamer, the best thing you can do is just don't buy the game. If you bought the game, do yourself a favor and do everybody else a favor. Return it, trade it. I don't care what you do with it, just don't play the game anymore. Let the numbers talk for themselves to these assholes. Hey man, no one's playing MK11. I wonder why. Well, go to YouTube, you'll find out, you fucking geniuses. Okay, go to YouTube. A lot of people are complaining about this, and not just the men, not just the male demographic, but even the female demographic of gamers are complaining about all this NPC social justice warrior BS now hitting our video games. Everybody's complaining about it. Not just men, but women as well. Women gamers are also complaining about it. At least the women that aren't fucking feminazis. They have a little bit more self-respect, because this is basically something to do with self-respect. In what sense? Think about it this way, okay? We have all these feminists demanding that the female characters not be so sexy, not so revealing, not so wow, like lustful looking or anything like that. Why? Number one, I think they're just jealous that male gamers prefer to look at that than probably their girlfriends or probably other real women. Number two, they have low self-esteem and they want to take it out on men by doing this. And number three, they just hate men totally, completely. And for NetherRealm developers, especially the head guy of this whole fucking problem, that he said, okay, get this, okay? This sounds pretty racist if you think about it, okay? You have to look in between the lines when it comes to this shit. This guy actually said, women don't fight in bikinis. Okay, women don't fight in bikinis. Wow, what could he possibly referring to, and what game could he possibly be, kind of like, Easter egging on us? Well, obviously you know which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive is probably one of the most known games for having super attractive female character fighters in there, and they fight in their underwear or their bikinis or their nightgowns or schoolgirl uniforms or cheerleader uniforms or even secretary uniforms. And to me that seems a little bit racist. It seems like he's attacking the developers at Ninja, considering the fact that it's from Japan. Okay? At least the main branch of it is. The main branch of Dead or Alive Ninja is from Japan, and they're actually more open-minded than the fucking hypocritical Puritans here in the United States. Puritans. Yeah, you should think about that for a little while. When was the last time you actually saw a feminist march where women were completely covered up? I mean, if anything, a lot of them were practically naked, yet they were still demanding respect from men, not to ogle at them or look at them as some sort of, or objectify them as just some sort of piece of meat. Okay, yet they were walking around without their bras on and nothing but their panties with their tits hanging out. It's a little hypocritical by my part. I'd call that insanity. But, you know, this guy was being racist by calling out that game in particular, because now he's attacking Japan. Okay, he's attacking Japan by saying women don't necessarily fight in their bikinis, and I prefer it that way. I prefer it that way, he says. Okay, Snowflake, whatever, you soy boy. So you're afraid of women? You're afraid of how attractive they are? You're afraid of how sexy they may look in their underwear or their nightgowns or anything revealing? You're afraid of women. And, you know, if anybody actually shares this to this motherfucker, then go for it. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and share it to him. Mention it to him. Tell him that I said that Andy Gamer Chanel said that he's afraid of women. You'd have to be afraid of women if you don't want to see them wear this kind of stuff. You know, it's like either you're afraid of women or you're afraid of what you might want to do to them because of it. Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? Here's another one that I want everybody to think about. So, I guess this guy thinks he's protecting the female, you know, the female gender by not allowing these female characters to look scandalous. Okay, so he thinks he might be protecting women, when I just said that even female gamers find this to be a little insulting. But think about it this way. What is one of the main things that feminists are always complaining about, always accusing men of? Patriarchy, misogyny, and all this other bullshit, that men aren't supposed to be dictating what they wear, not saying how they should be, or what if they wear makeup or not, if they do their hair or not, or if they look good or not, if they keep trim or not, if they, you know, like they accuse men of being dictatorous, patriarchal, misogynist pigs. But yet we have male developers and designers who are basically dictating what these female characters should or should not be wearing. Methinks there'd be some kind of hidden agenda there? Possibly not. Maybe it's just lunacy, you know? Maybe it's just idiocy by the ideology. I call it idiogy. No, god damn it. I can't even come up with a word. I need to start thinking about how to come up with good words. You know, maybe like, you know, making some sort of like a statement or some shit. But basically, that's what they're doing. They're showing that they're being, you know, the patriarchy. They're literally showing that they say, well, I don't want her to wear this, so she won't wear it. Screw the fans, screw the clients, screw the customers. I don't want my NPC characters, or no, they're not playable characters. No, they are definitely playable characters. I don't want my female characters to show a lot of skin, because I said so, because I'm the developer. So, neener, neener, neener. There you go, ladies. I've shown you respect and freedom. How are you showing freedom in all of this? I mean, isn't it basically letting women dress how they want to show, kind of like a way of, you know, freedom? It, like I just said a while ago, they decided to walk in the streets with their tits hanging out and their butts showing, nothing but their underwear, on that one feminist march that there was on New York, I think it was in New York. So, I mean, if a man would have walked up to one of those feminist psychopaths and would have told them, why do you let your tits hang out like that, or why are you in nothing but your panties, guess what she would have said to that guy's face? Stop telling me what to do, you misogynistic man pig. Don't tell me what to wear. Well, it's not that we're telling you what to wear, it's just we don't want you to be in any kind of serious trouble, you know, like, I mean, there's a lot of weirdos out there who might not just take that as some sort of statement, but they'll act on it. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm doing this so men respect women. And the rapes and hashtag me too and hashtag believe her. Blah 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 blah. It's gotten to the point where the lunacy is affecting even the best of us. at some point. And by the best of us, I mean the developers of video games, the video game companies. It's that bad, people. It's gotten that bad. Not just that, they've been adding their bullshit politics, and if you look it up, you can go ahead and look it up with any other YouTuber out there that's talking about the bullshit behind MK11. They've decided to add a Trump reference into the game. Okay, Shao Kahn. I'm pretty sure that most of you who are actual fans of Mortal Kombat and have been playing it since the 90s know who the fuck Shao Kahn is. He's the the dictatorous emperor of the Netherrealm, of the Outworld, and he's making a comeback on this game. I don't know if you have to buy him separately as a DLC, or I don't know if he's already within the game itself and you have to unlock him. I don't know, don't care. Like I said, I'm not gonna buy the game ever. So this is where it gets a little stupid and a little too obvious, a little too leftist, if you want to call it, for any self-respecting gamer out there. We don't want your bullshit politics in video games, yet you're doing it. And they got Shao Kahn quoting him, "Let's make Outworld great again." Okay, they made the villain of the game say making Outworld great again. Obviously that's the direct and indirect attack to President Trump. Make America great again. So now they've decided to add their own little flavor of BS politics into the video game. I am a Trump supporter. I don't give a fuck about what you people think, just like the developers don't give a fuck about what we think. I am a Trump supporter. I say build a wall. I say deport the illegals. And if you don't deport them, dump them on the front lawn of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all those other fucking morons out there. I'm one of those people that says go for it, Mr. President. So, now they're starting to add that kind of BS within the game. If any of you do actually respect not just the president, but the country itself, don't buy the game. Because this is just, to a lot of you, you might be saying, but it's just a video game, man. Who gives a fuck if they want to start their bullshit politics and stuff in the video game? Yeah, right now you think it's just some immature little baby video game, which is kind of hypocritical that most of you would probably say that, considering the fact that you play it also. But this is just one drop from a leak that's going to end up sinking the ship. Okay, it's all going to start off to be a tiny little droplet, and it's going to start getting bigger, and sooner or later it's just going to blow all up. It's going to sink the ship, and there's no one to blame but everyone who allowed it. And the best way to stop this from happening is to resist buying this piece of shit game, Mortal Kombat 11. Or any other fucking game that supports any kind of political identity, politic, whatever you want to call it. If it's supporting all that BS, do not buy it, because video games were not about that. Video games were about things that we can escape reality from for at least a little while, or just enjoy the fun behind it. Not so that they can remind us of the bullshit that we see every single fucking day. Most of us on MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC. Most of us who watch maybe the Fox network. We don't need reminders of what's going on right now. We don't need reminders of the bullshit politics going on right now. We have plenty of time to see that anywhere else, and even our fucking social media like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and like I said, YouTube. And for them to be adding it to video games now, on a video game that everybody was looking forward to, especially the hype behind it, especially the trailer, the reveal trailer of Mortal Kombat 11, the one where Scorpion's fighting Raiden, and we were all like, wow, but they kind of fucked up with that stupid rap song. Because, I mean, you can't beat people up with fucking rap. I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's fucking slow, boring, and, blech. I would have preferred them to use metal, or I mean, even to an extent, even fucking, whatchamacallit, that like, that Skrillex music, I forgot what it's called. But even with that would have been better than fucking rap. But the hype behind it was exciting. It was like, wow, finally we get to see another Mortal Kombat game after Mortal Kombat 10. Mortal Kombat X. For those of you who don't know Roman numerals, the X means 10. But you know, them adding these kinds of things into the game is super disappointing, and it's hypocritical, and it's a waste of our time, and it's a disrespect to a lot of us, because it is. So the women can't be scandalously clothed, yet we can still see violence on the video game. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of that one scene from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, where Sheila Broflovsky, you know, Kyle's mom, says, horrific, deplorable violence is okay as long as nobody says any naughty words. You know, that's what? Like, really? Like, maiming and killing and dismembering and decapitating is okay as long as there aren't any sexy looking women out there? What the fuck? I mean, have we forgotten what this country is all about? Seriously. I mean, personally, I'll tell you right now, everybody, if I knew how to design video games or how to use computers or anything like that, trust me, it would be a video game based on everything that's happening right now, but I'd kind of do it in kind of like a sci-fi Lord of the Rings kind of scenario where the villains are nothing but social justice warrior feminazis. You know, I'd make them into ogres and gremlins and harpies and whatever other kind of fucked up female characters you could possibly make them into. I would definitely design it, and that would make them all overweight, nasty, with their breasts all hanging, gross, kind of flattish looking, and super dark makeup like they usually wear, and bald with like nasty color hair and all this kind of bullshit. You know, there's nothing more invigorating than being able to design your own fucking character, or at least enjoying the attractiveness of a female character in a video game, because I know that most of you usually buy the game for that reason as well. I mean, just look at this game, for example, Soul Calibur 5, you know, it already had attractive looking female characters to begin with, but it's giving you that option since, I don't know, since Soul Calibur 4, I think, since 4 or 3, I don't remember since when it started, where you're able to, you know, customize your characters. But I gotta be honest with you, I've been customizing characters like that since Soul Calibur 4. Okay, since Soul Calibur 4, I've been customizing characters, or Soul Calibur 3. No, I think since Soul Calibur 3 on the PS3. But you know, why? Why do we do that? Because it's just fun. It's I don't know. I like looking at attractive looking female characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not me being a pervert or anything, I just appreciate a good looking woman. There's nothing wrong with that. And for someone to tell you that there is something wrong with that, nuh-uh, there's not something wrong with you, there's something wrong with them. Okay? Because even women can agree with me on this. There's nothing wrong with making a strong, attractive woman. Okay? Because you can make them sexy as hell, and they could still kick your ass from here to the fucking cow flies over the moon kind of thing. You know? There's nothing wrong with that, unless you want to make them all look like fucking Puritans and nothing but they're like kind of like the Pilgrims kind of clothing, you know, where they even had the buckles on their hats and everything, and their dresses went all the way past their Achilles. I mean, Achilles heel. I was gonna say Achilles heel. You know, goes until the skirt goes past their heel and is dragging on the ground, and they're covered up all the way to the, you know, near the edge of their jawline. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe we could get them to look like that. Woohoo! That's fun, isn't it? That is fun. Maybe we should just not let them fight either. we shouldn't let them fight, because, you know, women back in those days didn't know how to fight, and they didn't have an opinion or anything. Just read history books, okay? Read history books. You know, not until Susan B. Anthony. But I think it's complete bullshit that this is happening, and it is important that we pay attention to this, because it's just to a lot of people it might be just a tiny little leak and it's not that important, but remember, if you don't fix that leak, it's gonna get bigger. It's gonna get a lot bigger, and there's no one to blame but yourselves for not actually fighting this shit. And the best way to fight this shit is, like I said, resist the temptation of buying it, because these assholes will not learn their fucking lesson because they think that we're nothing but a joke to them. And you know what? I don't blame them for thinking that, because we've already just demonstrated it time and time again. My first video talked about how the game industry is actually plotting on stealing money from the customer. They give us half-ass made games. They keep all of the good shit separate from the game release or from the full game, and then they decided to pack it up and ship it to us in a separate DLC that is nothing cheap. We've seen it happen. You've seen it happen on Destiny and all the other Call of Duty games that came after. You know, like Call of Duty, Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and all the other ones. It actually started getting worse on Call of Duty Advanced, Advanced Warfare. It started getting worse with that shit, you know? And I told everybody, this is just the beginning. It's gonna start getting bigger and bigger and worse and worse, and it is. Not only are we being thieved of our hard-earned money, being sold half games. They're selling half of a game to us, and they're keeping all the good shit for themselves so they could sell it at an extra price. And we do it because we're stupid enough not to demand answers from our questions of why didn't you add this into the game when it first started, and you kept designing more shit for, and maybe we would have kept buying it. Why didn't you just give us the full content, and if you wanted to come up with extra shit, you should have just sold that to us afterwards. And nobody asked those questions. Very few did. But the numbers aren't large enough for these assholes to, oh man, I think we're screwing up, man, because these people are starting to notice what we're doing here. So I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's my opinion, as well as many other people out there's opinion. Unfortunately, we're not enough, and we're probably the only ones with the balls to call them out on it, while everybody else is content with being sold crap shit, and also being told what they like and what they shouldn't like, and what they would like or what they're forced to like, what is allowed in a video game, what's not allowed in a video game. And if you don't buy it, you're a this, you're a that, you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a sexist, if you don't buy this, you're everything that is evil in the world, because you have to do what we say, and if you refuse this, you're evil. Wow. Really? Seriously, I find something insanely wrong with that. And that's how they think. Trust me, look it up. That's how the left thinks, people. That's exactly how the left thinks. Okay. The characters that I made on Soul Calibur 5, I made them 10 for 10, but yet I still kick ass with them. I still beat the crap out of other characters with them. I still beat the crap out of other gamers with them, because it's got nothing to do with the way they look and everything with their performance. We've reached that part in our life where the obvious apparently seems to be a crime, or I don't know what's going on. I'm seriously confused, and I don't mean confused in that sense, but I for one will never buy Mortal Kombat 10. I have not even purchased Battlefield 2 for the same reason, and I am a huge devoted lover of World War II scenarios. I have everything from movies to video games that have a lot to do with World War II, because it was the biggest war in human history, considering the fact that it was all about leftist socialist ideologies, removing freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion and everything else. And we fought against that shit. We won that battle. We didn't win the war, apparently, because it's happening right now. Except they're not going by Nazis anymore. They're going by leftists and Democrats and whatever. They want to add politics into the video games. I can add politics into my commentary about the very same issue. We're fighting Nazis now, people, because we literally really are fighting Nazis. They're telling you what to like, and if you don't like it, you're an asshole to them. You're not worth their time. Even your opinion isn't even worth it. So that already says a lot about these developers, including the ones at NetherRealm and Warner Brothers. Okay? So, people, whatever you do, don't give in. Don't let them win. Don't let them see that, they can dictate what they, sell off to us. Don't let them make you feel bad for not appreciating the game or not accepting the game for what they made it out to be. Fight the good fight. It's like I said, these might just be video games to some, but it's more important to few, and not because of what it is, but because of what's behind it. And if it wasn't so important, then why the fuck are we getting leftist ideology, forced into our video games if it wasn't that important? Think about these things. Don't just listen and have it coming in one ear and out the other. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. If it wasn't that important, then why are they pushing for this shit? You see what I mean? You gotta think about this shit before you actually, judge me on what I'm saying. Think about it. So, with that in mind, I'll repeat myself again. If you're any kind of self-respecting, freedom-loving gamer, do not purchase Mortal Kombat 11. And if you've already bought Mortal Kombat 11, get rid of it. Toss it away. Give it away. Give it as a gift to maybe a leftist friend. And I wouldn't even know why you have friends that are leftists, to be honest with you, because I don't fucking associate myself with leftists. I associate myself with like-minded people. Because I'm not going to have anybody from that, ideology interfere with the way I do, I think, I feel, and, it is a problem. They're a disease. They're a cancer. And so I don't associate myself with those types of people. But, think about it. There's nothing wrong. Look at her. She's in her bikini. Yeah, it's fun to look at her in her bikini. But look what she's doing. Look what I'm doing with her. I'm beating the crap out of the other female character, who's also scandalously, dressed in her little, Christmas outfit with her, mini skirt and her knee-high stockings and her cleavage popping out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just fun to look at. It's fun to see. Fuck it. It's a man thing. It's always been no one ever said video games were for women. Okay? Let's be honest here. Video games were never for women, just like cartoons were never meant for children. But I don't know. I'm not saying that women shouldn't be playing video games. On the contrary, if women want to play video games, then you're more than welcome to play video games. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. But for the love of God, for the love of freedom, do not bullshit with your feminazi ideologies. If you don't like what a game looks like and how they portray women in video games, then don't fucking buy it. Just like they tell us, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I'll take their advice. I won't buy their fucking shit game. I'm not gonna buy Battlefield 2. I'm not gonna fucking buy Mortal Kombat 11. I'll follow their advice. I won't fucking buy your video game because I'm not satisfied with the bullshit you're putting into it and what it's referring to and what you're trying to use it as a symbol for, or the platform thereof. Okay? I'm not gonna put up with that kind of shit. I'm just gonna let it be what it is. It's gonna be another fucking piece of shit, bullshit, leftist, feminazi infused video game that's not gonna survive. Because it's not gonna fucking survive. Just like Battlefield 2. When was the last time any of you ever heard anything important coming out from that piece of shit game because of the fucking, female demographic telling us that women can be in war. Women can be in war. Yeah, they were in war, but not the way that is portrayed in the fucking Battlefield 2 shit. Okay, especially with no bionic arms. I mean, seriously, if they had appendages back in those days, wouldn't they be a little bit more advanced by now? I mean, if you're gonna make a World War II game with that kind of theme, at least make it a little bit more fantasizing, a little less, close to reality, kind of like they did with Castle Wolfenstein. Okay. With Wolfenstein, that's a what-if scenario of World War II, and what if the Nazis would have won? That's that. If you want to go for that shit, go for that shit. If you want to add female, characters into that kind of stuff, you go for it. But don't push it onto us. Don't force it to us. Don't force feed us this bullshit, because we're not going to accept it. We're not afraid of women. We love women in video games. We love women that play video games, but do not force your bullshit feminazi ideology onto us, because if you do, we're not gonna respond positively to it. You're gonna see us complain. You're gonna see us make commentary videos on it. You're gonna see us do a whole bunch of shit. And when we do call you out on it, don't fucking judge us by calling us the Nazis, because it's actually the other way around. So with that, I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone. Well, not goodbye, because I mean, it's not like I'm closing my channel yet. So, you know, I only have like 49 subscribers, and you know, whatever. But tell me what you think about what's going on in Mortal Kombat 11. I'd love to hear your opinion. I'd love to see what you comment on. Are you all for the MK11 censorship, or are you against it? Are you all for the, you know, demonizing President Donald Trump by using Shao Kahn, or are you against it? And yeah, just leave your comment, your opinion, and have fun while you're doing it. Be kind to each other. If you see someone out there posting something contrary to what you think, and I mean on both sides, not just the left, you know, if you see someone post something, Trump supporter, non-Trump supporter, feminazi, non-feminazi, or anything like that, don't reply back to any of them. Just keep it amongst yourselves. Leave a comment. I'll read them, and I'll reply to your comments. You know. So, you know, this has been Indie Gamer Chanel signing off, my friends, and God bless America.